Hey girl, hey! It is me, Lauren Hope, aka Lolo, and it's been a while since I've done a vlog. I'm like, should I do a vlog? Should I not do a vlog? Why not do a vlog? So I now live in Suffolk. I've been here for about 6 or 7 months, and it's cool. Like I honestly, before I'm out of my 30s, I'm gonna live in every city in the Hampton Roads area. It's funny because before I moved to Suffolk, people would be like, Suffolk's so freaking far. It's really not. I think when they hear Suffolk, they think like out in the boondocks somewhere, but I get it. I'm now working in Williamsburg as a peer recovery specialist, helping people struggling with opiate addiction. And that's really rewarding work because I get to help people get back on their feet or just be a source of encouragement or to, listen and help them, get their life back together. A lot of people who have struggled with drug addiction, like, don't have places to stay, or health insurance, or family relationships, or support, or healthy relationships. And a lot of what I get to do is to be kind of a model of what a healthy relationship looks like listening and engaging with them, taking them to NA meetings, showing them how to fill out like their health insurance stuff, motivating them, checking in with them. And I feel like an amazing job for me in this season of life. I feel like I've learned through my adversity. One of my spiritual gifts is the gift of encouragement. And I also feel like I have a gift of really seeing the good in others and maybe when they don't see it and like wanting to cultivate that in them. It's good and bad because sometimes I want more for people than they want for themselves, and as a peer, um, I have to follow your lead. Like, I'm helping you to be your own best advocate, and if you're not at the place to apply for a job or whatever, I have to meet you exactly where you are and just help you be an advocate for yourself. And so peering has taught me a lot of things too about how to help somebody without drowning. And so I do that part time, and the other half of the time I get to do really what has become like my passion project, which are storytelling nights with my business, Good Girl Chronicles. Every month we host a storytelling night featuring a variety of different people telling stories of overcoming addiction, mental health, learning to love yourself, being a mother to a special needs child. I mean, the stories that I hear from these events are incredible. And I feel humbled to be a steward of these shows. Like, I am just bringing the people together and bringing the stories there, and then the magic happens. As a motivational speaker, the thing that was so um, healing and liberating for me was that, my stories spoke into people's lives. I've had people say, hearing you talk about your mental health journey, I decided to go talk to a therapist. Hearing you talk about your mental health story, I can tell that I'm close to burnout. And so I applied for FMLA leave at my job to get my mental health in order. That just me speaking has inspired people to make tangible change in their life has been like, I don't really have a lot of words for that. And it it healed me. It helps me make peace with the things that I've gone through. Um, and so I wanted to give that opportunity to other people because I meet so many amazing people in my life, and I'm like, wow, that's a really incredible story. Like, more people should hear that story. And so that's what storytelling nights are, is giving people a platform to be a spark of hope for others. And my middle name is Hope, and I go by Lauren Hope now. And hope is so powerful. Like, we need hope in this life. Like, we don't have life without strife or without adversity. We live in a very divided time. But hope is the thing that keeps you moving, that makes you want to try harder, that makes you keep going to the job that maybe you don't love, but there's a ray of hope at the end that there's going to be a payoff. And the thing about these shows is that I hope my desire is that people bring their stories, and that hope is like a fire, and it's just like it's just a huge fire, and people see that, and it sparks off to somebody in the audience, and it makes them want to do something in their life, big, grand, small, whatever. It makes them want to do something positive with their lives, and I'm seeing that happen, and that's amazing. And I'm still putting myself out there as a motivational speaker, and I want to start coaching people on the craft of storytelling. As a journalist, we were under time constraints all the time, so you had to really learn what the heart of your story was. And when you're on deadline, you've got to know what the heart of your story is. Like, we have hours, we like compile all this stuff, but you have a minute and 30 seconds when we go on air as TV reporters. And the same thing goes for storytellers. I think people will say, oh my gosh, my life, I just have all of these nuggets of stories. And they go all of these different ways. And in that process, they lose the audience because their story has no arc and it has no focus. And so I want to help people find the heart of their story, because I think once you know that, and what you want your audience to take away with, you become a more effective storyteller. So I'm going to start doing workshops on that, and then just doing some event consulting. Like people who have an idea for an event, you come to me and I'll be like, awesome, great, I believe in you, this is awesome, let's collaborate, let me show you what works for me, make it happen. So grad school, working, and the business. And really my biggest challenge right now is finding the time to write my memoir, because I want to write about the last 4 to 5 years of my life. Last year the challenge was I mentally, emotionally was not in a space to visit it. Like every time I would read parts of my book, I would cry, or I'd be depressed for 2 or 3 days. I just wasn't in the space, and I'm in a better space mentally, but I'm trying to find the time, to really quiet my mind and take myself back to that place. And I'm struggling with my own self-doubt. Like, girl, who won't want to hear that? Like, that's a sob story. um yeah. But I listened to this sermon by this pastor in about this pastor in Charlotte, North Carolina. His name's Pastor Stephen Furtick. He oversees Elevation Church, and he did a sermon on dreams called "The Danger of a Dream." And don't let the title fool you. I hope that after this, your interest is sparked a little bit to go see it. And I've wanted to be a writer for so long, like a published author. The dream is unfolded differently than I anticipated, but I do feel that part of my life journey is to write and publish this book. And if I get into my 40s or 50s and look back and I don't do that, I really am going to not be happy with myself. I know that. So I need to make the time to make that happen. And that's just like time management. Boo, I adopted Boo in August of last year. So we've been together for August, September, November, December, January, February, March. This will be 8 months together, Boo Bear. Hi. He's so tired. He's right here. We went on a walk, and normally we stop at the same place and turn around, but he was so happy to be outside, so we just kept going. And now he's tired. He's gonna sleep so good. But Boo is doing really well. When I got him, he was like, this poor dog was so skinny. He's filled out. He's learned how to sit, and he's learned how to sit, which is good for him because I don't think his former owner taught him how to sit. But it is such a joy to have him. It really is. Like, I could be coming home from a really hard day or mentally drained or whatever, and I just look at his little face and it makes me smile, and I need that. I need that so much. So he's doing really, really well. Yeah, it's a good season of life. Lately, I have been trying to be okay in silence. I have always been a thinker, one of those people that will take a problem and dissect it in your head and this and that or whatever. And I've just been trying to take quiet time where I don't have the radio on or the thing on, and I just to be still. I just got done facilitating this class called Peer to Peer with the National Alliance on Mental Illness. And part of one of the techniques that we teach people is like mindfulness and like, connecting with a vision in your head or whatever, and clearing your mind. And I've been really trying harder to do that, particularly because of the job that I do, like helping people overcome addiction. I mean, it's really hard where you see people. And, spiritually, I feel calm. Yeah, I feel calm. That's a good word. I feel really, really calm. Um, for so long, the last like couple years, I felt so chaotic, and for some reason, this season just feels like calm, which is good. For the longest time, since I've started vlogging my experience, life has just been so turbulent. And then there was a season of life where I didn't know how to be okay with just normal because I had been in fight or flight for so long. So I'm trying to just rest in the calmness. The calmness. Um, yeah, I'm trying to rest in the calmness. And yeah, yeah. And really just like loving me, learning, like I feel like I'm in a process of loving who I am. Sometimes I think I still struggle with feeling like, putting my worth on exterior things, and I'm like, oh, I must be good because this person said this, or I must be a good person because this person said this, or I must be a good person because this happened. And just knowing that I am inherently good outside of anybody else feeding into me. That's like a process. It's interesting looking at this thing that my therapist encouraged me to write. I've learned that I laugh when I'm uncomfortable, or like, yeah, like, or when I talk about myself in a way that like feels like, oh my gosh, we're putting the light on myself. Like I'll like laugh to like ease the tension. You might not feel it, but I feel it. So my therapist told me to write this thing that like put things about yourself that are true, and look at it every day. Things that say like, I am talkative or well spoken or clever or confident or caring or beautiful or faithful. I'm a good friend. I'm a good dog mom. I'm compassionate. I am a leader. I'm a great motivational speaker. And I think sometimes we don't pour enough into ourselves. Um, I was always taught to be very modest and humble. So some to a fault sometimes, to a point where I don't know how to always compliment myself. And so I'm trying to get better at that. And then yeah, just loving myself even when I mess up or drop the ball or whatever. Um, and to be okay with that, and know that, God didn't make any of his children to be perfect, and that he loves us in spite of those imperfections. And if the higher power of my understanding believes that, then why wouldn't I believe it about myself? Like that, it doesn't make sense. Um, but yeah, I'm in a really good season. Um, I hope I'm gonna be 35 this year, y'all. 35. The hard thing about turning 35 is that I just feel like I lost so much time. I feel like from 2014 to 2017, 2000, early 2018, I was just in crisis mode or survival mode. And I feel like, honestly, I feel for like, from like 29 to 32, I was in crisis. And I feel like I lost the last part of my 20s. And sometimes I feel like I'm trying to make up for lost time. And yeah, I do feel that a lot, that I just feel like I've lost so much time. Um, yeah, that makes me sad when I think about it. And so I try to appreciate the seasons of life that I'm in this moment. I also try really hard to like not get ahead of God. Like I feel like for this season in my life, I'm supposed to be working in Williamsburg, going to grad school, and doing these shows. Now, I want to look 5, 10 years out and be like, God, but I want to do this. Um, but I feel like I need to just be content with where I am in this season. Like, it's okay to plant the seeds, right, for the next season, but you can't just be like, when these seeds gonna grow, when they gonna grow, when they, like, you're staring at the seeds, they gonna grow yet, they gonna grow yet. Um, because I am reaping some of the fruit from prior seasons of life, but yeah, I'm just trying to be content with this season of life. Not like, well, God, I'm not happy because I'm not, living in my own place. I'm not happy because my car, does all of these things, or I'm not happy because, I feel like God's like, I need you to, I can't bless you with more if you don't appreciate the blessings that I've given you right now. Um, and I do. I'm so appreciative of where God has put me. Is it where I want to be at 34 exactly? No. But I think about how God has led me out of the darkest period of my life to a place where I can say that I feel calm, which has not been the case always. And that's a beautiful thing. Um, yeah, yeah. So I think I'm going to go have quiet time. And then I have a list of things I need to do to prepare for my next storytelling night. So in the future, for the 20 or so people that watch my vlogs, um, I do possibly see myself giving reporting another try. Maybe not here in Virginia, but someplace. And so I think that when that happens, I'm going to have to privatize some of these vlog videos because they're so raw and so whatever. And, who knows? Maybe God will put me in a position where that is part of the narrative. Where, he will be like, gosh, go back to Lauren's YouTube page. You think God, let me show you what God did for this chick, okay? I don't know. But generally, most news directors like have this idea, this very cookie cutter idea of what they want their reporters to project online, and it's not as honest as I am. I don't think. So my plan is to work with a photographer or a videographer and make like a mini documentary of chronicling everything that's happened, and then showcase that documentary, encourage people to have discussions about mental health, and then privatize those videos, and then the documentary will just live here. And then this space will be for featuring storytellers, maybe interviews with storytellers, things like that. So hopefully that's like a 90-day goal for me, is to start working on that project. um, yeah. But for the people that do watch this and that do engage and that do comment and that do email, thank you so much. It means so much to me. Um, and then it even means more to me for the people who have watched me on this YouTube, and then like they come to an event and they're like, I've watched you on your YouTube and I'm, so inspired. And thank you for playing such a huge role in my life this way. So I hope you guys have an amazing, awesome day. Thank you so much for following this beautiful, crazy thing that I call life. As we say here at Good Girl Chronicles, I love you. I love God more. See you next time.